Hello, this is Daniel Byer. I'm one of your TAs for CSCI 480, Principles of Operating System Section 1 for Fall 2025. I'm here to talk about validating tar files. This is an important topic because before submitting your submission file, your tar submission file, you need to ensure that it's in the proper format in order to receive, full marks on your assignment. So firstly, I'm going to run through the steps of creating a tar file, and then I'm going to show you how that tar file can be validated. I'm currently in vscode, and through vscode I have SSH'd into Turing. You can do everything I'm doing here from the command line or vscode, either one works. When it comes to creating tar files, you first want to ensure that your project directory is properly named. In this case, for this assignment, we have a directory with my ZID and underscore project1 and underscore and dir. Inside this directory file, the only two files that we want to submit are the make file and the project1 CPP file. It's important to note that there should be instructions with each assignment that will tell you the proper naming conventions for your directories and files. One thing I will mention is that you're going to want to make sure that your make file is properly named. If it is not named make file with a capital M or a lowercase m, your make commands will not work properly. For reference, there is an example make file that looks a lot like this one. In Blackboard, you just have to make sure that you change the target and dependency names as well as the file names to work for the project or assignment you are working on. In your make file, you want to ensure that your build targets are properly named. In this case, it's important that our primary build target, our executable target, has our ZID and underscore and project1. So for instance, I can run make, and I actually don't need to specify any arguments. It'll just automatically go for the first build target. First, I need to be in the right folder. Here I can run make, and that will compile my code. I can then run it. C207. It gives us a hello world message. In this case, I've just created a very simple hello world program. Make sure when you are programming that you utilize the proper coding conventions and add in all of the required notes. In assignment 1, there is actually some information on where you can find the proper conventions. However, now that I've run the make command, and this needs time to refresh, now that I've run the make command, I now have an object file and a executable file in my directory, but we actually do not want to submit these files, which means that we need to remove these files. You can remove these files manually using the remove command. Here I'm just going to list both files to remove them both. And now if I refresh, they should be gone. Of course, if you do not have this extension for viewing the file system, you can also use the ls command to list your directory files. Now, the other way you can remove these files would be through an automated command, such as a make clean. This works because we have a special clean build target that will run a remove command on all object files and a file specifically named z2073236_project1. So I will run make clean. That'll run the remove command, ls. And we notice that those files have been removed. So now that those files have been removed, we've ensured that we only have our submission files in our project directory. We can make our tar file. We're going to want to make sure to cd back to our 480 directory, or whatever your prior directory is that holds your project directory. You can do that by using 2 dots. This is important because when you run the tar command, you need to be in the directory containing the directory or files you would like to tar. In this case, I'm going to run tar-cvvf 3236 underscore project1 dot tar z207 3236. And this will create a archive file, essentially a zip file named z2073236_project1.tar, and it will contain the z2073236_project1_dir directory, which contains all of our submission files. These flags change the behavior of the tar command. C is for create. It will create our archive file. V is for verbose. Because there are 2 of them, it will be verbosity level 2. It goes all the way up to verbosity level 3, so we could add a 3rd. That changes the output of the command after you run it. And then F allows us to specify our file name, which we have here. So if we run it, It gives us information about all of the files that we included in our newly created tar file. It's each line shows a different file. This first part will tell you the permissions for the file or directory, the user, in other words, the creator of the file, the owner of the file, the group the file belongs to, which is student, the number of bytes, so the size of the file in bytes, the date it was created, and the time it was created. And then it will give you the path of the file from the tar file. So it contains our directory folder of our assignment. It contains the make file within the directory folder, and it contains the source code, our CPP file, in the directory file. Of course, once you make your tar file, you want to ensure that it contains everything that is needed. We've heard before that people actually create empty tar files and submit those accidentally. So it's very important to check to make sure that you actually have all the files you need. In this case, we can clearly see that we do. If you are unsure, there are other ways to see what is inside your tar file. If I type ls-l, that will give you information about all the files or directories in the current directory. And we notice that the tar file is not empty because it has a size. If we specifically want to know what is in the tar file, we can run tar-tf z207. And of course you'd use your own ZID, not mine. z2073236 underscore prep1.tar -t. I'm forgetting what it stands for, but -t specifies to display the contents of the tar file, and F allows us to specify the name of the tar file that we are looking at. So running this command, we see that we have all of the required files for submission. And that kind of wraps up this video. One more thing I would like to mention is that if you ever wonder what these different flags mean in the command, so what the -t flag is or what the F flag is, the man command is very useful. So for instance, I can say man tar. That'll pull up a manual page for tar. And then I can scroll through and read about it. These pages can be very long, so you'll probably want to perform some sort of search. If you press the / key, you can perform a forward search. So I can say / and then enter a pattern I want to find. I want to find -t for the -t option. We're not quite where we want to be, so if I hit the N key, we'll move forward. And we notice that -t is shorthand for list, so it will list the contents of the archive. I could also do a reverse search with question mark for -t if I wanted to go back. And while you're searching, you can hold Shift and N to go backward. So I'm going to quit out of this. And if you would like to know how to use this vscode extension, it's called SSH FS, and there is a video by Nate on YouTube.
Let's jump into Mental Health's billing tools and their impact on your income.
Hello everybody, I will show you
Simply
in this
called
video how
NIU
to set up Visual Studio Code as a
CSCI
development
vscode
environment
setup.
for Turing and Hopper.
If we don't have
I'm
a
assuming
link
you've
to this
already set
video
up-
in the Blackboard, I can make a post with it so that it is available. But yeah, that is all for this video. I hope it was helpful, and please do make sure to ensure that the contents of your tar files are accurate before submitting.